from Los Angeles, I'm Joy Taylor. It was Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp.
Hi, Joy. How are you?
Skip,
How are you, Shannon?
Why you do
Looking
this?
sharp today.
You don't mean it.
Next question, Joy.
No, I'm trying to talk to Joy. It's my turn.
Yeah.
Joy, how are you today?
Good morning, Shannon.
Good morning. You good?
I'm great.
Get your customary 12 hours of sleep yesterday?
12 hours.
10.
What
Hey,
minute?
Skip, how are you today?
Joy,
Skip?
what's the question? How are you,
We've
Shannon?
got lots
good,
of
I'm
questions today. Lots of stuff
We got
happening.
lots of questions.
Todd Gurley and Kenyon Martin
Yeah.
will be in studio with us coming up. But let's start with a huge trade in the NBA. The Clippers traded Blake Griffin to the Pistons for 3 players, including Tobias Harris and Avery Bradley, and draft picks. Reportedly, talks between the teams started nearly a week ago, even though Griffin signed a 5-year, $171 million deal last July. He's averaging nearly 23 points per game this season. And even Blake seems shocked by the trade because he posted this Fresh Prince gif. He's leaving LA just after 8.5 years here. It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So, Shannon, who won the trade?
The Clippers won the trade. Skip, their owner, Steve Ballmer, is the wealthiest owner in pro sports. He's worth an estimated $40 billion. So for him to pay this salary is nothing. For him to be in the luxury tax is nothing. But he probably went to Jerry West, who's the GM, and says, hold on. Why am I going to pay average $35 million per year and be the 8th or the 9th seed, possibly be in the luxury tax hell? Why am I doing this? On a guy that has a history of being injured. Because when we look at this contract, Skip, and say another year, and they got another 3-4 years to pay him Blake Griffin $100+ million, are we going to say, is this a bargain, or how do they get away from this albatross? They saw they tried it. Chris Paul asked for a trade. They tried the Blake Griffin experience, and what was looking like, they're going to be 8th or a 9th seed. Makes no sense to me. We knew DeAndre Jordan. We knew Lou Williams were on the block. I don't think anybody saw this. But if you ask me who won the trade, I'm going to take the Clippers for the simple fact they get rid of this huge salary. Skip, do you know Blake Griffin mid-range game is worth than Ben Simmons, Jay Crowder, even Dwight Howard are shooting better from the mid-range than Blake Griffin. And here's the thing, this is what we know about athletes. When they rely so much on athleticism, and that's what Blake Griffin is, he's a freakish athlete. And when that starts to wane, then what? Yeah, he hits an occasional three-point shot, but everything, his whole game is based around athleticism. I believe the Clippers won this trade. What it looks like to me, they want young players. They want draft picks because they're clearing out and they're going to rebuild this thing from the bottom, Skip. And Blake Griffin was not going to challenge. They're not getting close. They're not going to anywhere. They're not going to challenge the West. They're not beating Houston. They're not beating the Warriors, the OKC or the Timberwolves. So what? And Steve Ballmer, and they're like, what are we doing here? Why are we paying $35 million to be 8th, 9th, or the 10th seed? It makes no sense. Now, for Detroit, Skip, I don't know what they were thinking. What? They're going to be the 5th seed, the 6th seed? They're not going anywhere. Now, I get it. Blake used to playing with a big man, played with DeAndre Jordan for a number of years, so he should find his niche right alongside Andre Drummond. But they're not going anywhere with Blake. Blake Griffin is not a franchise changer. They do get the star player that they, maybe they want or they need in Detroit, but Blake Griffin's not going to change anybody's life in the NBA.
Interesting. You would say that. So, I do agree with your bottom line. The Clippers did win this trade, but I think you have it all upside down and backward. That's just me. I think your timeline is wrong. I remind you that back on July the 1st, the Clippers, led by Steve Ballmer and at that point Doc Rivers, who was also the GM, staged a huge presentation at Staples for one Blake Griffin, to wine and dine and woo him back into the fold till death do they part. Blake, you're going to be a Clipper for life. That was the big presentation that day, and they had a whole maze that Blake walked through with his son, with all pictures from his childhood, and then University of Oklahoma, and then his early days, Clipper, winning the slam dunk contest. Remember that moment when Blake arrived, when he launched himself over the hood of that Kia in that slam dunk contest back in 2011, just about 7 years ago. And that made him a superstar, except as a basketball player. I never liked Blake Griffin. I'm going to say it one more time. I was on the record before the draft, and everybody laughed at me and went on for weeks. And I said, Steph Curry will be way better than Blake Griffin in the NBA. And he's like way, way, way better than Blake Griffin is in the NBA, to all of your points. But Blake Griffin was perceived by Steve Ballmer and Doc Rivers as that superstar piece that they would continue to rebuild around after Chris Paul had exited.
That is correct.
So they convinced Blake Griffin to be a Clipper for life, and they gave him 5 more years and $171 million. It averages out to like $35 million a year. It is an outrageous, to use your term, albatross of a contract. And yet, Jerry West had been hired, but Jerry West was not in charge. I am the biggest Jerry West fan on the planet. I have always been in awe of what he has done, because I remind you, he started off running the Lakers, and he managed to trade Vlade Divac for the ability to pick one, Kobe Bryant, right?
Yep.
Wow, he picked that kid from Philadelphia. I wonder how that's going to turn out. It worked out pretty well, right?
What about get Pau Gasol for Kwame?
Ooh, that works. But how about talking Shaq out of leaving Orlando and coming to Los Angeles? Did that not a help?
I mean, Disney's fine, but you could be in LA,
Hollywood.
Shaq loaded up the diesel, and headed west.
For a while, he teamed up with Kobe Bryant. It worked okay, didn't it?
Yeah,
okay.
Unbelievable.
And Jerry West hired Phil Jackson to coach them and try to sort of make peace between them, and it worked for a while, a good while.
It did.
And as you said, he went to Memphis and just started from scratch, and he built a playoff team, right? This is Jerry West. And then going back to, what was it, 2011-ish? Going back to, it's been about 4 years ago. He goes to Golden State, and very quietly, working in the background, I think he had a whole lot to do with building. He did, with everything, with the whole building of that dynasty, with the philosophy of it, with the drafting this piece and that piece and putting it all together. Jerry West behind the scenes was a powerful force in Golden State.
Correct.
And then, to your point about Steve Ballmer, deep pockets, he said, and I thought this was like a bargain, like a steal. He's paid him like $4 or $5 million to be the Lakers' sort of chief advisor, right? Just to oversee the operation. And then after Jerry West was hired, and after they had talked Blake into committing to Clippers for life, then Jerry West said, Doc can't do both jobs. He can't wear both hats. It's not fair to Doc.
Right.
You can't. It's hard to be. I know Belichick has pulled it off, but it's hard to coach and have total control of the personnel, and maybe that's not Doc's forte.
Because you can't lie, Skip. Because if you serve in both roles,
good point.
How you tell the player, well, I wanted you, but the coach didn't. I wanted you, but the GM didn't.
Okay.
Hold on, wait a minute. You both of them.
You were both of them. And Doc did give his kid a whole lot of money. I think his kid's pretty good. Is it worth quite that much? You could argue that. But again, that put Doc in kind of a tough spot.
Right.
Put Austin in maybe a tougher spot.
Right.
And the point is, finally, they removed Doc and said, you just be the basketball coach. Jerry West has hired a couple of young sort of assistant GMs, that Trent Redden from Cleveland, who I think he was pretty good under David Griffin.
Yes.
And then that Mike Winger from Oklahoma City, who had also been in Cleveland. So he's got young, bright people under him. So they got a brain trust that they're building.
Did they cut Doc's salary?
I don't know about that.
Oh, they did? Okay. I'll be the head coach. You going to pay me the same amount if I was serving both roles? Okay.
Okay. But Doc has lost the power of building the basketball team. And all of a sudden, they watch Blake Griffin for a half a year or so, and they notice that his plus-minus is now second worst of his career, and he's shooting 44% from the field, which is his career worst. And his rebounds they've fallen to second worst in his career, and now he's approaching age 39, and his PER,
29,
I'm 29, sorry, and his PER is 34th, and that's about equal to how many millions he's going to make this year. 34th PER and 34 million, 2 plus 2 do not equal 4 to Jerry West.
Nope.
And they're saying, wait a second. Our superstar is really just kind of a star. He's not super, right? He's not in that upper echelon, as you precisely said. So now they manage addition by subtraction to get out from under that salary, which I can't believe. There's only one destination, one team that would have made that deal, and I believe it was the Detroit Pistons.
Yes.
because they had shopped quietly Blake, and they said there was no interest anywhere on the market.
35
Who
million?
wants that?
Yes.
Who wants that except?
If he was KD,
Okay,
he's
I got
LeBron,
it.
or one of those top
But you
Anthony
got it.
Davis. I got you.
But people know he's not that guy.
No.
Fans love him because he's a power dunker, right? And he, he's got a lot. You can just go on YouTube right now and look at all the dunk highlights,
Especially
right?
once he put Mozgov on that post.
He did. He did.
It was over.
Yeah, and the Kia, over the hood of the
Barry
Kia.
Davis taking the ball out of his hand.
There you go. Okay, so that's all great, but it doesn't win championships.
No.
And my problem with Blake, and he's a nice enough guy, although he did punch a staffer, remember, at dinner.
Yeah.
That was no good. That's just, there's no leadership intangible there. There's no burning desire to win championships. I never saw it. I watched him at the University of Oklahoma. And remember, he went back. This is always the telltale to me. If a guy goes back for a second year and you're supposed to be a superstar in the NBA and you think, I need another season of grooming, your big brother's kind of your bodyguard at Oklahoma, on the same team. And that should show you he's not that guy. He was never that guy. So what does Detroit need right now? They got a new downtown arena. What do they need? There's nobody in there.
Yeah.
They can't fill their arena because they don't have a star.
Right.
So now they got a quote unquote superstar. Quasi, because they can't get free agents to come there.
No.
They're going to have to trade. They traded for Reggie Jackson. It was not bad, so you got that going for you, but that's about it. And Avery Bradley had been kind of a bust for them, but I think he'll be good for the Clippers.
Right.
And Tobias Harris can play. He's a nice player, but he's quietly nice.
Yes.
And he doesn't have star power to him. But that's good that they got him back. And then they got a first rounder, and then they got a second rounder. And they got out from under $171 million. That's astounding to me. But Detroit needs some star, and Blake Griffin has star. He's got a marquee name.
Right.
And they can sell him a little bit. Maybe some people. They said he's going to try to play tonight. I hope he does against LeBron. So,
You hope he does.
Well, do you think they'll have some walk-up sales to see Blake Griffin in a Detroit uniform?
They might, but Skip, Lob City never fulfilled what it was meant to be. Chris Paul and
you would think if you put those with DeAndre together, you'd think it would click.
Well, first of all, Chris Paul wasn't supposed. He's supposed to be in L.A., but he was supposed to be in the purple and gold.
He was.
But David Stern nixed that and basically handed him to Donald Sterling. Why? We'll debate that another date and time, Skip.
Yep.
But it appeared to me. Now I don't know Chris Paul. I don't know Blake Griffin. But it looks to me, from the outside looking in, they never liked each other.
I would agree.
And when you look at what they had an opportunity. They got by the Spurs. Everybody was like, "This is the year."
And Chris Paul finally hit a shot.
This is the year. They got it. They got past Duncan and Pop and the Spurs. Oh, they got Houston.
And then it looked like they got him again, right? They're up 3-1 next round.
And then Houston. Let Josh Smith. He caught fire on them, and they hadn't looked back since.
Yep.
It makes no sense to me for the Clippers
to
hang on to a guy that's not going to drastically change your life. And he wasn't changing life, Skip. They're the 8th, 9th, probably was going to be the 10th seed. At best case scenario, you're paying a guy $35 million. You're paying a guy that kind of money for that? For what?
And he has been, as you point out, incredibly injury prone, frighteningly injury prone.
His whole career.
34% of the last 4 years of games.
Yes.
Last 2 playoffs, he missed the final 2 games 2 years ago and the final 4 games last year. So he's just always getting hurt. I looked at the litany of injuries. He's hurt his back. He tore his quad, broken hand.
Knee. Remember, he missed his whole rookie season.
Staph infection. He broke his toe. He shattered his knee. I didn't even say that. The kneecap. He had a sprained MCL. He had a concussion. It's just like one thing after another after another. He's for such a big, tough guy, 6'10". He's pretty fragile.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, as he approaches age 29, Detroit, you happy? Are you going to go forward with this? Are you going to risk? But it's all they got.
Right.
But it's going to be diminishing returns because I'm pretty sure his production will continue to slowly sink into the sunset. Right.
Because here's the thing, Skip. Look, Andre Drummond is a nice piece. He's basically 11 and 15. Skip, ain't nobody coming to see that.
Nope.
You need superstars. You need somebody that's going to put butts in the seats. And Andre Drummond wasn't doing that. Now, Blake Griffin, he's going to change a little fortune, especially the buzz initially. Oh, man, we got Blake. But when that doesn't equate to more wins, then what do you have to do? Basically, if you're one of these teams that's not in these markets or have a superstar talent already there, you better hit it big on the draft. See, the Warriors can track, it's the Bay Area. but they got Steph, they got Clay, they got Draymond, they got a winning tradition.
Yep.
Some people can attract other people.
Yep.
Ain't nobody going to Detroit. I'm sorry.
And to your point about the draft, this is the franchise that recently took Stanley Johnson over Devin Booker. Nah, I don't think so. And then last year took Luke Kennard out of Duke. He was a nice college player. Over Donovan Mitchell. I don't think that's a great idea.
No.
Right?
But Skip, to go back to, look, I'm going to give the Clippers, I'm going to give them a little leeway here. More times than not, if it's a good big man and a good little man, they'll take the big man. Because, I mean, we look back at it, you're like, man, they could have had Joe. But Skip, you know, everybody was going to take Elijah Wan. Because, you know, you look at him and like, okay. But then you had Sam Bowie that was 7 foot. The only thing that would have scared me, he had gotten injured in college. He had, he fractured his kneecap or something like that in college. And so you look at Sam Bowie.
His foot, wasn't it?
He broke his foot or something. And then you like, so that might have would have scared me away, especially being a big man.
I agree.
But more times than not, Skip, I can't teach you to be 7 foot tall. I can teach you, you know, I can teach you how to box out. I can teach you how to shoot better. I can't teach you to grow. And so more times than not, they're going to take the bigger guy over the little guy.
So Jerry West thinks big, big, big. He's probably thinking biggest. He's open now one max spot, and I'm sure he has some designs on.
Stop it.
On that. What was he born December
30th, 1984.
1984. That guy.
Oh,
from
Glow.
Akron? Yeah.
Her mom named her right Glow because she knew she had a glow around her because she was going to give birth in 84.
Okay, but what
how LeBron going to go for what?
Okay, but he's going to say, look at our future versus their future. So it's going to be LA versus LA because LeBron has two houses in Brentwood, which is right down the street from us.
Let me get this right. So Jerry West pitched to LeBron. LeBron, check this out. This is how we're going to take down Golden State. It's going to be you, Patrick Beverly, Avery Bradley, Denari Gallinari. That's how we're going to take them down. What, right, man, Skip?
But time out. The fact that they were able to get out from under the biggest ticket on their cap, right, Blake, now it makes it a little less likely that they would take anything back for DeAndre Jordan or Lou Williams. Less likely. So maybe they would hang on to them to present to LeBron a better case. Look what we do have.
No. Because, first of all, DeAndre is a free agent. So,
well, I mean, who's to say they can't?
I mean, look here. Go ahead, look. You're trying to part ways. I'll give you a look. Tristan's a nice little piece. He's young. And plus, his BM right here. I mean, Joy, you know you don't separate people like that. Joy, he's about to be a dad. Chloe can't travel to Cleveland to L.A. Get them close together, Skip.
By the way, a little bird told you yesterday, I understand, because you said it here on the air, that, wait a second, the Cavs do have interest in DeAndre.
Yeah, we have always had interest.
DeAndre definitely has
interest in them.
Yes.
Of course.
Okay. So now it's definitely going to come down to the Brooklyn draft.
We're not giving you that for no DeAndre Jordan. The guy can leave at the end of the year. Now, if he had 2 or 3 years on his contract, we might consider it. But I tell you what we will do. We have a first-round pick this year for the first time in a long time. We let you have it. I'll tell you what, you know what, Skip? This is what we'll do for you. Because we like you, Jerry West. I have the utmost respect for you because I know you can build a team. We'll give you Isaiah.
That's what Jerry West would do. He would sniff at that.
We'll give you Isaiah for DeAndre. And I tell you what, we'll give you Channing Frye and Tristan for Lou Williams. Salaries match up. I mean, come on, Skip.
Channing Frye.
Yeah.
For Lou Williams, who should be an all-star.
He should be.
And just is lighting up the whole league.
So we need that to light up for the Cavaliers.
Yeah. Oh, so you want Jerry West to be everybody's fool, and then after
he done suckered everybody.
He suckers everybody. You better be careful dealing with him.
He suckered Charlotte. He suckered Memphis, and then he turns right around and go work for Memphis after he done swindled them out of what he swindled them out of.
He did.
So, Skip.
Good point.
Now, you know, if we get DeAndre and can keep Kevin Love, you know what's going to happen. It's going to be 7 games between the Warriors and the Cavs, and I put my money on Bron. In game 7, I got it.
Help me out here.
Yes.
How does DeAndre Jordan change the balance of power between Cleveland and Golden State? That's what I don't get.
Because we need a big rim. We're small, Skip. We're small.
So are they. That less and less they play Zaza a cheap shot. They don't even play.
They don't got no. I'm talking about
play small.
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about the Celtics. If we get DeAndre,
you're just worried about the Celtics, which you should be.
Yeah, we worried about them right now until we make this power move, and then we're gonna roll through them like a ball of prune juice through a baby, Joy.
Okay.
That's how we about to go through the Celtics when we get DeAndre.
I would agree with you. That would give you a better chance of getting past the #1 defense.
First of all, even if we don't, I still like our chances.
Yeah.
I love our chances. There's a 90% chance if we stand pat. Now, if we get DeAndre and Lou Williams, it's over.
Over how?
OVA. Over for the suckers.
Wait, you mean Golden State is OVA?
It's over for the Celtics, and we coming for Golden State.
But you're afraid to go OVA for Golden
It'll
State,
be
aren't you?
OVER.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
it would be over in 5.
No, sir.
It was last year.
No, sir. No, sir. If we get Lou Williams and DeAndre Jordan,
how are you going to get them? You don't have anything to trade.
Yes, we do.
Unless you give up the Brooklyn pick.
no, we got Isaiah. Hold on. We got Isaiah. We got our
Nobody
first pick.
wants Isaiah.
Yes.
He's damaged goods.
He gonna be
Everybody
out-
knows it.
They want him off the books. He'll be off the book next year. He only making $6 million. We done paid half of it, so you only owe him $3 million.
So just another addition.
Steve Ballmer, what's Skip? The man's worth $40 billion. He just got 35 off his payroll. What's $6 million to him?
No, he doesn't care about that.
Okay, then
He just wants to win.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Isaiah can help you win.
I mean,
After all
LeBron
you
might
said
put
about
a
it.
call in to Adam Silver, but I have a feeling DeAndre Jordan, Lou Williams will be going to the highest bidder, considering the situation. Plus, Tristan Thompson has 2 more years left on his deal at 16.4.
That's okay. That ain't nothing.
year.
That's half a Blake. You
think
get a
that's-
young guy.
I don't know if that's what the Clippers are interested
Yo,
in.
stop trying to talk us out of it.
I'm just trying to be realistic. I'm trying to be the voice of
Give us
reason
a
around
white side.
here.
Give us white side.
He don't
Whiteside.
have anything to do
He
with
had a
this.
big game last night.
Yeah.
Here they come.
I can tell you one thing though: these free agents are going to have a lot more trade clauses in their contracts.
Yeah,
Did
I'm
they have-
surprised he didn't have a no trade.
First of all, there's 2 guys that have that: Dirk Nowitzki and the King.
That's correct.
Now the King is now.
I don't think Dirk has it anymore. I think it went away.
Yeah. But, he ain't going nowhere. I mean, what, 20+ years, 21 years.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But if you're a big time free agent moving forward,
They ain't gonna give it to you unless you Steph Curry or KD or
I
something.
don't know about that.
Blake, welcome to Detroit.
Yep. How much longer will Brady and Belichick, the dynasty, last? We'll discuss that next.